Right, time for some more fast forwarding since all the nearby territory has already been explored. It's been a fun ride, but it's been pretty rough as well. And while there are some amazing moments I can't wait to get to, those moments are nowhere near as close as I'd like them to be. Well, this most certainly feels too early for us to do another save. Well, that didn't fill in much for this area. It just points out that we need to go higher if we want to clear out that particular Emmy zone. A zone where the robot in question can see through walls, and has a ranged attack that can also go through those same damn walls. Probably shouldn't be fast-forwarding through this bit of dodging around the monster, but can you blame me, considering the sheer number of times we've died to this thing underwater so far? And that wasn't even taking into account all the other robot deaths we've gone over through the rest of the game. I fully respect that those things really up the difficulty, making this a more tense overall experience. I just hope that other people can respect that I just do not have any kind of fun dealing with them. Right, no easy way to that teleporter. It was worth checking. Okay, so we've got two commanders at once. I get the feeling taking a hit from one of those blaster bolts saved us from taking a hit from the overly large sword strike. Well, I will grant that taking two of them on at once is a more challenging fight than just one-on-one. It lacks the intimacy of a boss fight or mini-boss fight like we've had for the rest of the game. You absolutely have to pay attention to both at once, which means I'm having a harder time seeing what they're planning on doing with a lot of time in advance to counter more appropriately. Sometimes a literal counter would do. Sure, this is not bullet hell levels of busy on the screen, but it's still more busy than I'm comfortable with considering my gameplay style. Right. Of course I couldn't dodge that one. Looks like I'll be having a rematch against these bastards. And by rematch, I mean, here I am 5 tries later. Again, I just cannot feel confident in myself in this game. The pressure is constant. The closest thing to a breather this game had was when the Emmys were shut down. And even then, we died quite a few times. Kinda makes me question if I was right to just not bother trying to grab so many of the troublesome upgrades along the way. Sure, I want to get a move on, not get stalled out on various puzzles that require more precision with things like the speed boost than I feel I can pull off. But at the same time, the only threat I didn't feel like it was too much of a test was the tentacle one, and that still managed to kill me a few times. Bloody hell, I don't even know which of these two I've softened up more, so I have no clue if I should focus on one over the other. I'm too busy running around and shooting. just can't keep dodging these guys all day. Probably should have countered there, but I was a bit distracted trying to keep track of the black one as well. Again, really feels abrupt when you take an enemy down. Still, I appreciate this turning into a one-on-one again. And then there were none. For now, at least. Bloody hell. That is the second damn time we've had to deal with a significant, if not especially distinctive encounter in territory we've already explored before. As if we didn't have enough things in this game to keep me on my toes near constantly. Oh, come on! I should have had that one! Well, that's appreciated, but I can't help feeling like I'd prefer some other upgrade instead. Specifically, the gravity suit. Please don't tell me we have to destroy the purple robot before that unlocks. Please do not tell me that is the reason the damn thing is purple. I can't really think of anything else it could give us, but I really don't want to think that it's going to take us that long to get that particular upgrade, especially with so many underwater areas and so many ice areas to deal with. I just want to be done with Metroid Dread. Unfortunately, I'm sure that it will take more than 3 clips to finish this job from here. Did I have the same level of fatigue in the other 2D Metroids? I certainly don't remember if that's the case, but then, as I keep saying with all the Metroid games, my memory isn't the most reliable thing out here. Right, we're out of that pit, and there is a rather frustrating amount of climbing left to do before we're done with the game. Right, definitely deserve to be sucked in by that bastard. Why the hell did I even try to go that way when those blocks already showed that they'd break the moment we got on top of them? That wasn't even a matter of memory, just simple observation of a room we've already been in before. Definitely gonna have to go back to the Emmy Zone considering all the other blocked paths right now. Hopefully the space jump will mean we won't have to even bother getting into the water this time. Though that's possibly just wishful thinking. Right, I forgot there was no way up from here. We have to be on the other side to unlock that. Well, at least it doesn't look like I'm going to be making the same mistakes that killed me via the recurring enemies in this room again. Definitely a lot faster to travel by air than by water, but then that's not really much of a surprise to anyone, is it? Sure, we have to climb higher, but the question is, which path? Since that felt like the path of most resistance, I'm gonna guess this is the right one. Okay, apparently this path doesn't really lead anywhere useful, but at least it's a good checkpoint in case things go wrong the next time we enter the robot's patrol zone. And it gave me the chance to remove that barrier for whatever that's worth later on. Shit! Not the right path out. It looks like there's still a significant amount of the robot's patrol zone higher up. And unfortunately, I don't see any obvious way up there from here. So maybe I'm just not looking at the map the right way. It wouldn't be the first time in this game. I'm sure our next major destination is going to be the room with the robot brain at this point. Though I could be wrong. At the very least, I wouldn't mind killing that robot before this clip is done. On second thought, maybe our destination is that question mark there? It really feels like a recurring problem for me in this game, and it's somehow more prevalent than it was in earlier games, that I just keep wandering around aimlessly, trying to figure out what I'm doing. Great. We'd have to go back through the area we've already done quite a bit of running through. Apparently, I made a different choice than I was expecting when I actually had the controller in my hands. Assuming, of course, it was a conscious decision, and not just me doing more wandering around aimlessly, hoping that the answer comes up on its own. I've done that plenty of times in this series, and I'm sure when we get to the 3D part of Metroid that I'll keep occasionally doing that. I just hope it's less frequent in the Metroid Prime games, since those tend to be a good deal longer than the 2D half of the series. Right, no choice but to take the hit if I want to go this way. Okay, why in the hell did I decide to take the damn tram? Sure, I don't know what I'm doing from here right now, but that's no excuse to leave this area altogether on a random whim. I certainly doubt I checked an online guide at this point. I didn't pause anywhere near long enough. Well, there's still some unexplored areas in this sector. I suppose that's something. Kinda surprised I managed to avoid getting hit right there. Maybe I'm better than I give myself credit for, but then I suppose that wouldn't be too difficult to pull off, considering my overall confidence for most of this game. Right. I apparently forgot that this path is blocked off despite spending an annoying amount of time in this corner before. I've asked it before, and it's worth asking again. Does anyone know any good head doctors? Well, I don't think I need outright brain surgery. At the very least, there has to be some way to get your memory centers checked. Okay, not where I really intended to go, but maybe it'll lead us somewhere. Or I'm just making myself even more lost despite the fact that we've technically already explored a lot of this ground before. Just what do you do when providing a map just isn't enough for someone to find their way around a place? Again, no real clue where I'm trying to go right now. I just know that I'm probably going to need a save point just for the sake of giving myself a break. Maybe a chance to consider if I'll look at a guide to figure out where to go next. I certainly don't trust myself 20 clips into this mess. Hell, I'm not sure I'd trust myself to finish this without another 5 clip being used up here. Granted, none of the clips have been of a uniform length. My only really guiding star in that front is just make sure it's less than half an hour long. Well, at the very least, we've managed to find some new territory. That's got to be worth something. Granted, I'll probably start fast-forwarding again relatively soon, but I'll take what I can get. At the very least, I'm sure we won't be finding a padded room in an asylum anywhere in here. Right. No way we're getting to that missile upgrade without the gravity suit. Please tell me I'm wrong about where we get that damn suit. Please tell me it's not being held by the purple robot. Well, this room certainly feels vast, though maybe that's just an illusion caused by the massive fish in the background. At the very least, it looks like it'd be a pain in the ass to get back out from here, so maybe that's a sign of gravity suit soon? Right. Absolutely nothing I could have done to avoid that bit of damage. Now, this seems about as good a time as any to save and get a breather. Rather appropriate that we left the water for this breather.